Everybody, I'd like to tell you, share with you a story that I never thought I would tell anybody. It's so embarrassing. Really, I was young at the time, and when it happened, I was quite embarrassed when I realized it happened. But here we go. When I was a teenager, I think I've shared before about how my eyes were opened when I encountered Carl Sagan's Cosmos series on PBS, and how in the weeks that unfolded while that series aired, a drastic change occurred in me. I went out and I begged $20 or something off of my father, and I was just in school. I didn't have any money, and I went out and I bought the hardbound companion series to Cosmos, and I poured through that in addition to the I couldn't get enough. In addition to the televised program. Anyway, about that time, I started really opening up to this whole idea, this big, great wide world out there. And I don't remember when it happened, but I remember there was a revelation that occurred when I came to suddenly understand that science was not lab coats, robots, chemistry sets, and Ivy League towers. Science was a way of thinking. Very simple way of thinking. And I've talked about it before. Just illustrate it again. Hypothesis, test, theory, start from scratch again. So you just go, it's a cycle going around of guessing, testing, coming up with a more stronger guess, theory, and then starting over again. It's endless. It's cycles. And it's the way that science operates. It's so simple. And it was when I realized that, I was in high school, when I realized that, oh my gosh, that's what science is. Science is simply a way of thought. I had this not unhappy, this is a trivial thing. You guys will laugh when you hear it. I had moved to a new school. I had gone from Quartzville High School up in the Alamo Valley down to Upland High School in Upland, California. And I was a brand new student and starting in a new semester there. And I was in a biology class, and I was so excited because I was in biology, and now I was seeing biology with a whole new eyes. Before, I was a terrible student, and now I was so eager. I was, sitting in my chair. It was biology class. At first, I was a new student in a new school. I knew nobody, but I didn't care. I was ready to let the adventure begin and head into this class with this new idea that science is a way of thinking. That I could be a scientist as a kid. I can do science just by using that thought process. And I'm sitting there in class, and the girl sitting next to me after the first class was over, a cute little thing. I don't know. I don't know why. I didn't really attract the attention of girls very much at that point in my life. But she kind of turns to me. She struck up a conversation. And I don't know why, but she asked me. She said, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And now me, I'm fresh from the experience of discovering that science is a thought process, that anybody can be a scientist just by engaging that thought process at any time. And we were in the biology class, and I was so excited about learning biology, I was certain I was going to be a biologist someday. And so I turned to her and I said, I'm a scientist. Now, I didn't say I want to be a scientist or I'll be a scientist. I said, I'm a scientist. Yeah, there you go. That's going to work well on the ladies. I never remember talking to her much again after that, and I remember feeling kind of embarrassed afterwards at the way I chose to word that. It would have been much better if I had said I want to be a biologist or I would like to be a scientist, but I'm a scientist. But it was really the story is, despite my embarrassment, is really illustrative of the fact that I realized at an early age that being a scientist had nothing to do with any of that other stuff. It was simply a way of thinking, and then I further realized that the PhDs in their laboratories with their lab coats and all of that really are just well-armed scientists, scientists who have gone through a great deal of training usually into some specialized field, so that they have a rich wealth of knowledge, of facts, theories, and hypotheses underway in their head to work with as a resource in delving further across into the frontier of their chosen speciality. And that's all those guys are. PhDs are simply well-armed scientists. You, me, anybody can be a scientist at the very moment we begin the what I call this method of natural inquiry, the scientific method of inquiry. There you go. So, a little embarrassing story from my childhood, but one that shows the power of simply a simple way of thought. Take care.